corrupted and so conditioned and become totally conditioned unconsciousness, because we are all are, the whole world is. Because if you look back at the population itself, in 1800 the population was only 1 billion, and 1930 the population was close to about 2 billion. And I know my father got awakened, and that was 1941, and he was about, I would say, 26 years old or close to 77 years old, and he got totally awakened. He became completely a watcher, because 1941 he went to Dera Baba Nanak. There he met the sannyasis of Baba Sri Chand Ji, and these sannyasis of Baba Sri Chand Ji, because Baba Sri Chand was the son of Baba Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And if my father, I know that he used to tell me when I was young, he used to read from a small book, and he used to live in Peshawar, and he used to tell me that the population was so increasing gradually, because now, and he says that in another 100 years or maybe close to 95 years, there'll be 8 billion people, and now we got total 8 billion people. And he learned from Baba Sri Chand's disciple that the mind is a heap of impression and the body is a heap of food. And our animals are basically, if you listen to the Osho, and everybody should listen to the Osho, because people in India, especially, they are more conscious than all over the world, because they may be a different kind of a consciousness, but they may be intellectual, most of them, but some of them are beyond the intellectual point, because I know my father was a watcher. My father was a watcher. Not only that, he was a living moment to moment, and he was totally unconditional to himself. And he taught me when I was 4 years old, close to that, maybe little less than 4 years old, that he says the first party is that Ekunkar, Satnam, Karta Purakh, Nirpao, Nirvair, Akal Murth, Ajuni Sahib Bhang, Gurprasad, Jab Aad Sach, Jugad Sach, Abhi Sach, Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach. So it was Baba Nanak Dev Ji who come with the first body, and that's where he talked about everything belongs to the existence. And he says in Indian language, Tera means 13, but he says everything belongs to the existence. And what he means, because that means 2 eyes, nose, 2 ears, mouth, 2 hands, 2 legs, and one is to pee and one is to poo. And that's what he talked about it. That is, that we are 13 of them, and we are all, they all belongs to the existence. Because if you look your dog and look your cats, they all have that 13, and we have the same thing. But the progeny of, if you look at the progeny of the, even the population in India, the population of dogs, there must be close to about 1 billion dogs. And there are a lot of cows are there, and they are all living in the present. But nobody cares, because they think the human beings are superior than the animals. And it is not true, because the animals are really living their life, and that's called the matter is the living matter. Living matter is all the animals, all the birds, and all these ocean, and the mountains, and all the trees. They're all living in the present. But we are the human beings in the only condition. And now you look at all over the world, we have a population of more than 8 billion people. That means we have taken over the existence. Existence is really crying for it. And that's what's happening. And now you can see the existence is coming, and existence is going to destroy us, because we have to become totally conscious, and we have to learn to become that. The intellectual mind is running all over the world. But if you look at in India, there is still some consciousness there. There's more than that is there, and that is because these people have gone through all these changes from their body, because the body is a totally instant, and it's only born with the congenital abnormalities. And the intuition gives you what you call, intuition gives you a 1% of the consciousness, and 99% you are not conscious. And now Osho has done a great job in India where their people have learned to live, become more conscious, and people have come in before 80s. Before that, people used to come all over the world to Osho and learn to live, how to live in the present, and that's what they did. And since the Osho has been dead, because he's the one who came to United States and who lived in Oregon, and he opened a place called the Rajneesh Puram, and that is living in the present. And he was totally awake, and that's the way a person should be, and that's the way my Kian is, who's a grandson, who's taking my videos, who's totally understand that everything is conditioned. And the conditioning consists of all the stock market, all the prices of the gold, the prices of the stocks. And that's why the stocks are changing, because they're all conditioned. And the money is nothing but a conditioning, because the first day we are born, the whole existence came inside of us. And that means we are breathing the oxygen. And that means we are breathing out carbon dioxide. And that's what the plants take that. And that's why we need more animals. Because if we have these human beings, what will happen? Because we are more intellectual and they're more fighting, and there's a war going on and the marriage going on, and all the children are born, and they are totally what you call a conditioned unconsciousness, and they are getting married because they think they love each other. It's all social media which is progressing. That is all conditioning. It is nothing but increasing the population. Now you can see that population is going down and down. And I can tell you one thing, my father came to United States in 1974. He was totally awake, and people have come from different part of the India into the United States, and they have taught them how to be in the present. But unfortunately, they themselves was not in the present, because I know one Sardarji came and he was teaching people that when you close your eyes, that you are personally, you can see the light inside and you can see, but he was basically talking very superficial, because he was also what we call talking a little more than what you call intellectual mind. But people in India, they have learned that. Now I'll tell you about the India people itself, because old Prime Minister, what we call, who is dead now, called the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, who was totally awake, and my papa was totally awake, and he died in 1995, and he was smiling the day he died, and that is what a life is, because a life is a fun, and a death is also a fun, and it's enjoyable, and that's what I am. Now I have become totally conscious, and I'm totally living moment to moment, because I understand the intellectual mind. I respect that. People should understand, because my Kian, who goes to school every day and he learns about the intellectual mind, but he understands it is all conditioning, but he has to live in this world to survive, and that's what he's doing that. But we have to become conscious to this universe, and especially the universe which is here, which is all the animals and the birds and all the trees and the ocean and the mountains. But we think that we have built houses, that we have made this money, because that is all conditioning, and that's what it is. And we have to understand the conditioning, and we have to respect the conditioning. And that's why you can see that the car company which is there has come, which is a car company which has made an electric car now. Pretty soon we're going to have a nuclear battery, and the nuclear battery is coming, and the nuclear battery is going to be so strong that it's going to run the car, it's going to run the battery, it can run our house, it can run the elevators up and down, it can run even the airplanes it will run, because that's what's going to happen, because we will use as less gasoline as possible, because that's all conditioning, because we have to become unconditional to ourselves, because that's the only way we can survive in this world. Otherwise the existence will take over, and the existence is powerful than us. We think we are powerful. We are nothing. We are just ordinary people. We are conditioned. We are totally conditioned from top to bottom, from head to toe. And that's the problem which we have. And I can tell you one thing, President Donald Trump, he's a beautiful soul, he's a beautiful person, but he's doing all kind of crazy things to increase the what we call the conditioning, much more than that. But we have some people who are thinking about a little more than that, but they all are conditioned. Again, they are conditioned. There is no difference between me and anybody, because we are all same people. Because where we had in the past, my papa told me about that first party, that is Mool Mantra, and that's what he taught me about that. That is you living in the present, moment to moment, and that's what the Mool Mantra is, and that's what Baba Guru Nanak Dev Ji told, and that's what Baba Sri Chand did that. And we had Papa told us that we had 10 all the gurus, they all live in the present. Unfortunately, nobody understood them, because all the people in the religion thing, they have their own religion, and they start their own agenda, and this is all conditioning. Just like if you take a Jesus Christ, he says close your eyes, and because he learned how to live in the present, and that's what he did. Because close your eyes and raise your hand up and be thankful to the existence that you have given you the eyes, the nose, the ears, the mouth, the hands, and they have given you the legs and the pee and poo. And he says the kingdom of heaven is inside, and that's what Jesus Christ said, because he was the one who literally died for us, but he was living. Unfortunately, that's my papa has seen a place in India, in Kashmir, where Jesus Christ was buried, and his tomb, he has visited him, and that was, you're talking about 19 that was 19 before 1942, 43, 44, because after he wake up, then he went to see the Jesus Christ tomb. And that's what we have to do. We have to learn how to live in the present, moment by moment. And just like Donald Trump has become the president now, because he should go towards more unconditional consciousness instead of going towards more conditioning. And that is where the problem is. And he has to realize himself that, because we all are breathing from this existence, we are all same people, there is no difference. And that's what all my children are, and all my grandchildren are. And I tell you, 2026, I will become the governor of the state of Florida, because I'm living in the present, and I'm going to wake up the people in the United States, because this is one of the best countries in the world, and I love everybody. And my aim is to stay happy and healthy and wake everybody up. I love you all.